Good morning, everyone. Today we will start with inverse variation. Now, let us suppose I have one pizza. I have to distribute it to two children. That means each one will get half the pizza. That means share of a pizza is half. Now, if I have to distribute it to four children, each one will get 1/4 of the pizza. If I have to distribute it to 8 children, each one will get 1/8 of the pizza. As the number of children are increasing, the share of the pizza is decreasing. One thing is increasing, other thing is decreasing. We call it inverse variation or inverse proportion. We can take one more example. Let there be a house. Let the house be built. Let 20 workers build it in 30 days. But if the number of workers are decreased, time will increase. That means if number of workers is decreasing, time is increasing. Similarly, if the number of workers increases to 40, time will decrease. One thing is increasing, other thing is decreasing. It is called inverse variation. How to do questions related to this, we will learn now. 48 men can dig a trench. If 48 men can dig a trench in 14 days, how long will 28 men take to dig a similar trench? See, we know number of men. Both the cases, number of days has to be found. So, let us start. 48 men can dig a trench in 14 days. One man can dig a trench in 14 multiplied to 48. Here the first step will be multiplication. As the number of men decreases, number of men decreases, number of days increases. Twenty-eight men. 28 men can dig a trench in 14 multiplied to 48 divided by 28. 24 days. What we have observed? As the number of men increases, number of days decreases. See, increases multiplication, decreases division. So here if we solve it is 24 days. So we have 28 men will finish the work in 24 days. 16 horses can consume a certain quantity of corns in 25 days. How many days would the same quantity be consumed by 40 horses? So 16 horses, the question is 16 horses can consume a certain quantity of corn in 25 days. In how many days would there, in how many days would the same quantity be consumed by 40 horses? See, number of horses are given, number of days has to be found. 16 horses consume a corn in given corn, consumes a given corn in 25 days. One horse will consume a given corn in 25 multiplied to 16 days. Number of horses decreases. Number of days increases. Now, if the number of horses is 40, therefore 40 horses will consume a corn, a given corn in 25 multiplied to 16 upon 40. Let us simplify this. 4 times, 4 10 times, 2 5, this is 5. This is equal to 10 days. Number of horses increases. Number of days decreases. So we see that when there are 40 horses, they consume the same corn in 10 days. At the beginning of a month, at the beginning of the month, a factory has enough material to make 240 tons of steel in a month. If 60 more tons of the steel, if 60 more tons of steel is to be made that month, how long will the material last? 240 tons of material of steel. See, at the beginning of a month, a factory is enough material to make 240 tons of steel in a month. That means with a given amount of material, 240 tons of steel is made in a month. With the given amount of material, solution, with the given material, 240 tons of steel is made in a month. Now see, it is if 60 more tons of steel is to be made that month, how long will the material last? If 60 more tons steel has to be made, that means every day manufacturing of steel has increased. Now, if everyday manufacturing of steel has increased, I am talking about with the given material only, it will take less number of days to use this material because the manufacturing of steel has increased. So let us see if 1 ton of steel is to be made. With the given material, 1 ton of steel is to be made, then the time required will be what? First of all, in a month, we will change to in 30 days. Now, with the given material, 1 ton of steel is made. That means if every day it is 240 tons of steel in a month, so if 1 ton is to be made, then the number of days required is 240 multiplied to 30 days. Manufacturing of steel is reduced. Number of days is increased. Is reduced. Then number of steel manufacturing. Amount of steel is reduced. Number of days is increased. Now, if it has 300 tons steel has to be made with the given material, 300 tons of steel is to be made in how many days? It will be 240 multiplied to 30 upon 300. This is 24 days. Now the days required will be 24. See, if 240 tons of steel is to be made in a month, then the material used will be, with the given material, 240 tons of steel is to be made in 30 days now. If 1 ton of the steel is to be made, then the number of days will change to 240 into 30. But now if the consumption has to be increased to 300, why 300? Because it is 240 plus 60. It is given that 60 more tons has to be made. Then it will be 240 multiplied to 30 upon 300, which is 24 days. Next question, children, now. A military camp had provision of had provision for 630 men to last for 25 days. How many men must be transferred to another camp? How many men should be transferred to another camp so that the food lasts for 30 days? So that the food lasts for 30 days. Number of days are given. We have to find the number of men. So, military camp had provision for 25 days for 630 men. Number of men for whom military camp had provision for 25 days had provision for 25 days is 630. That means the number of men for whom the provision is there for 25 days is 630. If the number of men for whom provision is there for only one day, number of men for whom military camp has provision, military camp has provision for one day is 630 multiplied to 25. We see that number of days decreases, number of men increases. Number of days decreases, number of men increases. Now it is how many men should be transferred to another camp so that the food lasts for 30 days. Number of men for whom military camp has provision for 30 days is 630 multiplied to 25 upon 30. Here you can write number of men increases, number of days increases, number of days increase, number of men decrease. This is equal to, what is 21 multiplied to 25? 5 to 5 men. Total number of men are 5 to 5. Now the question is, how many men should be transferred? It should be 630 minus 5 to 5, which is equal to 105 men should be transferred to another camp. That's all for the day, children. Thank you.